We are so blessed tonight to have Lee Chapin and his wife visit us. He runs the Celebrate Recovery in Woodland Park at Impact Church. It's amazing. Mac and Mary, they are so blessed to have Mac and Mary, who are national leaders. I don't know how often they show up, but they show up with their CR. I'm just so jealous. It's like, and we've actually got to go up there and see their testimony. If you ever have an opportunity to go on Monday night to Impact Church, do. I mean, it is an awesome Celebrate Recovery, and they know what they're doing, and we get to hear Lee's testimony. So I'm going to pray for him. Lord, I just thank you for Lee. Thank you that what you did in his life, Lord. Thank you for his story, Lord. We're just blessed that we get to hear it. I pray a blessing over him and his wife and his family, Lord. Pray that you'll just speak through him and touch lives tonight. Lord, I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Before I start on that, you guys are awesome. I mean, the fact that in 2 years, we have 75 people here tonight. You are like in the 75th percentile of the whole nation, because that's changed the problem. Yeah. Okay. I am a grateful believer in Jesus, sober now for 27 years, and I currently struggle with codependency, anger, and control. My name is Lee.
Hi, Lee.
I grew up in a relatively normal, middle-class home in a town in Ohio, about the size of Woodland Park. We were taught to be moral, and most things were pretty much right or wrong, black or white. There was a belief in God, but no relationship. Church was Christmas and Easter, and for weddings and funerals. When I was in my teens, I quit attending church altogether. I am thankful, though, that I was given a basic belief in God. When I was young, something happened that helped define much about me and the choices I would make. But it was a secret. And somewhere around 8 to 10 years old, I was sexually abused. Now, not to minimize it, which I did for a number of years, but I will say that I was not an ongoing victim of abuse, as many have been. This event, combined with an early exposure to pornography and alcohol, took away an innocence which couldn't be recaptured. Excuse me. While I remember little of my childhood before that age, I do have fond memories after that of growing up on Lake Erie, fishing, swimming, and water skiing. Fast forward to high school. I can be best described as a chameleon, also known as a codependent. I could fit in with just about any group, but wasn't really known by anyone. I started experimenting with alcohol, and eventually marijuana, and later harder drugs. It was great because I could again be the guy I wanted to be. It gave me confidence and helped mask the pain and confusion I had going on inside of me. I was into sports, had a good GPA, and had friends and girlfriends, yet I had no idea who I was. Other than I loved to build and to design. Had I known scripture at that point in my life, Hebrews 11:10 would have been my life verse, which says, "For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God." I took some drafting courses in high school and began doing construction during the summers. This is one area of my life where I found positive purpose and meaning. There were really gifts that God had placed in me, but at the time I had no idea how to use them for Him and His purposes. Today, as an architect and builder, I'm able to find meaning in my vocation. Right after high school, I took a job doing construction. It was great. I was building houses during the day and running with the big dogs at night. One night, while bar hopping and going to various parties, I was introduced to cocaine. They said, "This is great. You can snort some of this and drink all night." Well, that was mostly true until I decided to try it and drive home. I didn't make it as I ended up totaling the first of a few vehicles. As I was lying on the emergency room table, having the gash in my nose stitched up, scared to death the doctor was going to see the residue. And with my dad in there as well, I was asked by the police officer how much I'd been drinking. I gave the standard answer of 2 or 3. On the way home, my dad said something that would stick with me from that day forward, even though I didn't apply it right away. While lamenting what had happened to me, he replied, "Frequency, intensity, and duration. If you do something often enough, hard enough, long enough, something's going to happen. During college, I was able to maintain a similar pattern, but my partying grew. While I didn't know it at the time, unresolved fear, anxiety, anger, guilt, and shame were being medicated through drugs, alcohol, and relationships. Needing spending money, I took a job as a bartender in a nightclub. Well, it didn't take long until my life was completely out of order. Once we got done serving the customers at 2 a.m., it was our turn to party. Classes soon became secondary. Taking a break from college after my junior year, I returned home and took two jobs, one as a bartender. I began dating a girl there and ended up getting her pregnant. We did the right thing and got married. It was great for a while as her dad drank like I did. Life was one big party. And the drinking and drugs and the drug use grew a lot. But eventually reality set in. After 2 kids and 2 unhealthy years together, we divorced. Now, as messed up as I was, God had placed in me a father's heart. And that is what it took to get my attention. I saw my kids on a regular basis, but was nearly always drinking when I was with them. One night, when taking them back to their mom's house, I had an accident and nearly killed them. After later seeing the totaled truck, there was no question his hand was covering us, as the cab of the truck was crushed to the top of the seat in the exact profile of the 3 of our heads. By the grace of God, I had strapped them in their car seats, and we walked away basically unharmed, physically at least. God used the only 2 people in my life that I cared about to get my attention. After the accident, I was court ordered to do some drug and alcohol counseling and to attend a DUI weekend. It was at this weekend that I remember laying in my hotel room at night wondering, how am I going to go fishing, watch sports, mow the lawn, pretty much anything without drinking or drugs? Now, I am only 27 years old at the time, and yet I knew something needed to change. Also up to this point, I'd been somewhat regularly attending a small Methodist church out in the country. I'd been invited there by my ex-mother-in-law. At this church was a great young pastor who invited me to play softball and volleyball in the church leagues. Even though I'm sure he could smell alcohol in my breath, he continued to invite me and love on me. In the meantime, there were insidious spiritual forces at work. That's right, people, primarily my grandmother, were praying for me. They were ruining my partying as it ceased being fun anymore. It was becoming a necessity. After the DUI weekend, I began attending AA and earnestly attending that great little Methodist church. I got saved and sober in 1989. To this day, I credit my grandmother's prayers and softball for saving my life. While in AA, I met my second wife. It was perfect. I needed to be needed. We were both sober Christians working on our recovery. We were attracted to one another. What else was required? Well, we carried a lot of baggage into that marriage, even as Christians. And while we both loved God, we struggled for 19 years to make it work. Unfortunately, it ended in divorce, which helped to bring about, for me, the crisis of faith. The great thing about the marriage is that we were blessed with 2 sons. As things were plummeting in the marriage, the pastor asked me about starting CR, knowing I had previous 12-step experience. I knew I needed to celebrate recovery, but was no place to start it. Fortunately, about a year later, Impact hired a worship pastor who had previously led a CR, and he asked several of us in the church to join him in getting it going. John 10:10 says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly." I wanted and needed that abundant life. When the ministry leader left and I was asked to take over, I felt totally inadequate, especially with where I was spiritually. In hindsight, it was a good place to be, as I needed to be led by God, not by my own strength. It has been said that God won't give us more than we can handle. I disagree. I believe that he won't give us more than we can handle without him. How many people have driven I-70 through Kansas? It was then I began my drive through Kansas spiritually. I kept crying out to God for answers and for some great revelation. Instead, I got farmland, steer barns, highway, and a never-ending horizon. But a while back, I drove into Lyman. I could see the outlines of the mountain. I was getting closer. And even more recently, Pikes Peak has been coming into focus. I see majestic mountains, and I can remember what the view was like from the summit. Pardon me. One of those people who was asked to help start CR was a lady in the church who had been a friend and softball teammate for a few years. As we served alongside one another in CR and helping with the youth group, we became very, very good friends and eventually married. And since we were so happy, our blended family of 7 kids immediately jumped for joy and were ecstatic that we were the new Brady Bunch. Well, not so much. But I will say, celibate recovery has given all of us tools to work on restoring relationships, making amends, and forgiving one another. Right? But having said that, there have been some deep wounds that are still being healed, and that's okay, because we're all working on recovery, one day at a time. And now I get to co-lead this awesome ministry with my best friend. We've both grown so much in our time in CR, and I can't imagine where our relationship would be had we not both been working our recovery program. While we very much love our kids, we're actually looking forward to being empty nesters. A big part of my recovery has been step studies. I've participated in and helped lead 3 of them now, and preparing to start the journey continues with my sponsor. Speaking with sponsors, we meet regularly, as this too is important to my recovery. It is vital, really, as so much of my time is spent helping to lead and coordinate ministry and giving to others, that it would be easy for me to crash and burn without the help from him and others. I'm also learning that the word no can be a healthy response when someone asks me to do something that'll take away from what God has called me to do. Even when it is a good thing, it doesn't mean it's the right thing. Earlier tonight we had the first song was about the prodigal son. And I've got a praise report. We were able to have Christmas dinner with my 23-year-old son. He's been estranged from us for 2 years. Just my grandmother taught me, I have been and will continue to pray for him. And for God to do whatever it takes for him and for all of us to be restored. Joel 2:25 says, "So I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." I'm often asked, how long do I have to come to these meetings? When I get discouraged or feel this is never ending, I liken it to hiking the incline in Manitou. For those who don't know, there's a false summit about 3/4 of the way up. So as you're trudging along and finally feel like you're almost there, boom, here's a deflating setback. Well, that's when I stop, turn around, look out over the city, and I can see how far I've come. That energizes me to keep going. One of my favorite songs is "Give" by Third Day. Its words resonate when I question God and his plans. The lyrics are, he said, "All that follow you may find, comfort and pain, blessings in hard times. Were I to leave, where else would I go? The words of life and of truth you hold, and all I want is love. And I confess to this, and I will take it, Lord, all you have to give." How great the love lavished on us all, that we can be the children of God. My current life verse, which has also carried me many times, is Philippians 4:6-7. It says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, that your requests be known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Celebrate Recovery has helped to teach me that I'm to ask God to give me the things that I want and need, but I need to be thankful and grateful and leave the answer up to him. Back to the expression my father told me: intensity, frequency, and duration. If I'm relentless about my recovery and keep coming back and then live one day at a time, all of a sudden I have 27 years of sobriety and my life is no longer unmanageable. And in closing, to quote a current song, I am no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Thank you for letting me share.